Thousands of players have walked down the tunnel at Michigan Stadium. Each has their own story, but maybe none has a story quite like Jordan Kovacs, who came to Michigan just hoping to walk onto the team, and after making it, had to be cut because of a knee injury.
That was really tough. You know, probably one of the toughest points in my life because, you know, I was living my dream. You know, I finally, you know, was a part of this program, and to have it taken away like that, it was tough.
Kovacs persisted and made the team the following year. After working hard in practice, he made his debut in 2009 against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
My whole approach those first few games was, I'll play when they need me. You know, whenever my name's going to be called, I'll play. I'll play as hard as I can, do whatever I can for this university. You know, but at first I didn't think it was going to be 3 straight years of starting.
That first year was a crucial learning experience for Kovacs, and it helped him grow into one of the most important players on the Michigan defense.
And he saved it from big plays, and that's why he's so special. You know, a play breaks through there, and you need that last line of defense. When you got a young man like Jordan Kovacs back there, you feel like you're pretty safe time to time.
But it's not just a safety net that Kovacs provides. It's intensity and passion and a desire to hit his opponent.
Jordan Kovacs with the kill shot on Alex Carter.
I remember thinking, well, now, you know, I've cleared the line. Nobody can block me now. I better hit this guy, or else we're going to be watching it over and over about how I failed.
Those hits set the tone for the Michigan defense in 2011, and Kovacs was a crucial part of what was a massive defensive turnaround for the Wolverines.
Intercepted on the near sideline.
With a guy like Jordan, he brings leadership, and you know he's going to come to the table and work hard every day. And following a guy like that and following his footsteps is only going to make you better.
But it's not just Jordan's practice work ethic that makes him so special. It's his willingness to work with young players off the field.
He's going to be the first one that's going to volunteer, you know, to room with a young kid or a young player, so he can meet with them not only during the day but also in the dormitory. And
when Jordan does something, the team takes note. He's seen as an inspiration to everyone else for what he had to go through just to earn a roster spot.
You come in here and you just see that drive and that determination and the perseverance of what you have to go through, and just to stay hungry and keep at it. It just shows, you know, what hard work can do.
And Jordan hasn't forgotten his roots as a walk-on player.
And there is a stop for a loss by Jordan Kovacs.
We have a group of guys that we call ourselves the Walk-On Nation, and I like to play for those guys. Being through the hardships, just the struggle that it took to get to the University of Michigan and be a ball player here, is something that I don't want to forget.
It's that struggle and the journey that has made Jordan Kovacs the person and the player that he is today. And it all goes back to never giving up on his dreams.
Chase your dreams. You know, don't let anything stop you. You know, there's several times when I could have easily given up and, you know, given in, but that's not what I did. You know, and like I said, I think it made me the ball player that I am, and you know, I'm proud of what I'm doing.
New season begins tonight here in Ann Arbor as the Northern Michigan Wildcats come into the Chrysler Center to take on the number 5 ranked Michigan Wolverines. David Now's alongside Glenn Miller bringing you the action here tonight. And for Michigan, key on offense is going to be Tim Hardaway Jr., but the thing that they have to worry about with him is shot selection.
Absolutely. You know, Tim Hardaway is a streaky shooter at times, so he's going to look to get hot early tonight and be efficient, really, with Trey Burke out.
And for Northern, their big player on offense is TJ Cameron, team MVP last year. What does he bring to the table, Glenn?
Well, you know, he's a team MVP. He's a defensive stopper, but he has a tall task ahead of him tonight. It'll be an interesting battle underneath, and it looks like he might be matched up with the freshman Robinson in the paint.
Senior versus freshman, always an interesting matchup. Now, exhibition game, W's aren't always the emphasis in these. What are some keys for both teams? What do they want to work on?
Well, for Michigan, they're going to look to see who can fill in their lineup. They're going to find some defensive stoppers tonight, and they really are going to be looking for who can develop a post presence for them and get clear on the boards. And for the other team, it's going to be about keeping your composure. You're in Chrysler tonight, and you really want to slow down the pace of the game. Don't let Michigan get out of hand too quickly.
Both teams very excited to get in some real game action against other squads. We'll be back in just a moment on the Big Ten Network. Welcome back to Ann Arbor. We'll take a look at the starting lineups here for Michigan. Spike Albrecht starting in the place of the suspended Trey Burke. Glenn Robinson III, the other freshman in the lineup. Jordan Morgan starting his third season along with Tim Hardaway Jr. and the senior Matt Vogrich getting the start at the other guard spot. Now for Michigan, John Beilein coaching now. He's really raised expectations here at Michigan. Sixth season, an entirely different culture, Glenn.
Well, John Beilein coming off a great season last year. The Wolverines peaked at number 10 in the AP poll, but unfortunately had an early exit in the first round. We talked to Coach Beilein at Big Ten Media Day. He's just really excited this season about the youth and talent he has on this team.
And taking a look at Northern Michigan's coach Doug Lewis in his third season at Northern. Previously coached at Central State University. While he hasn't been as successful as he'd like at Northern Michigan, pretty good career coaching record. Very successful at this Division II level, so it'll be interesting to see how his team does in year 3 under Doug Lewis. Ready for tip-off here in Ann Arbor. And Tim Hardaway Jr. Very solid offensive performance. Now we send it over to our sideline reporter, Steph Mancero, who has Coach John Beilein.
All right, Coach, congratulations on your first win. We talked earlier about how you played a lot of guys tonight. Who impressed you the most?
Say it again.
Who impressed you the most?
Oh, I don't know. You know, they're all so young. Any freshman that goes in there and can make shots early, that's all usually a good sign. The history tells us guys that usually make shots early usually have a pretty good career, and I saw that today.
And what can you take away from a game like this, a huge win like this?
Oh, you know what? As I said before, it's so much about the video that we'll learn so many things, because I liked how they were really patient on offense. I said that before. And it made us – they just didn't jack it up there. They made us guard them for 25, 30 seconds, and we stayed strong through our defense. So I was impressed with their big men, their guard play at times. I'm glad they gave us the game they can. I'm glad we got a W, but we're going to learn from it.
All right, congratulations. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steph, and we'd like to remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Big Ten Conference and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Big Ten Conference. For Steph Manicero and Glenn Miller, I'm David Niles. Michigan with a 36-point win here in Chrysler Center. Good night, everyone. One last tune-up for the number 5 Michigan Wolverines here at the Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor as they take on the Saginaw Valley State Cardinals here on a Monday night exhibition match. I'm David Niles alongside Johnny Meyer. And Johnny, Michigan looked very good in their exhibition match last Thursday against Northern Michigan. Got out to a 17-0 lead. Ended up winning the game by 36. Tim Hardaway Jr., the story of the game there, 13-8-5. Some other guys looked good. A lot of them were freshmen. Who stood out to you?
They really all looked great, but Nick Stauskas and Mitch McGarry really stood out to me. Stauskas displayed a sweet shooting stroke and also showed the ability to score off the bounce. And meanwhile, McGarry gives Michigan a dimension they really haven't had under Beilein with his natural size and motor and his athleticism. They all combined to make him a great rebounder.
One guy that they didn't have in the lineup was Trey Burke due to suspension. He's back tonight. Him and Chris Webb for the Cardinals will be key.
Yeah, the preseason first-team All-American Burke is the guy to watch for Michigan. He's coming off a great freshman campaign, leading the Wolverines with 14.8 points. For the Cardinals, the player to watch is Chris Webb, the senior guard, recently named to the preseason first-team All-GLIAC, and he led the team last year with 14.2 points per game.
Now, in this exhibition contest, one last tune-up for both squads. What's going to be key?
Well, Michigan's going to want to establish their rotation going into the regular season. Last year, Beilein was really only able to consistently play around 7 guys, but this year, he's got the talent to rotate around 9. Michigan also needs to work on rebounding. They were 215th in the nation last year in rebounding margin. The Cardinals need to lock down the perimeter. Michigan gets most of their scoring from the perimeter, and they need to close out Michigan's many shooters. They need to focus on transition defense as well, because Michigan's going to want to run in this game, and the Cardinals have to be ready.
This should be an interesting matchup. We'll be back in just a moment on BTN. Welcome back. We'll take a look at the Michigan starting lineup. Trey Burke back in the lineup. He's joined by Matt Vogrich and Tim Hardaway in the backcourt. Glenn Robinson III and Jordan Morgan round out the starting 5 for the Wolverines. As for Saginaw Valley State, they roll out this lineup. Brett Beeland in the backcourt along with the senior Chris Webb, who we featured in our Star Watch. The redshirt freshman Kellen Smith joins Jay Thames and Rob Clark in the front court for the Cardinals. On the bench for the Wolverines is John Beilein in his 6th season in Ann Arbor, and he's really changed the culture here, hasn't he, Johnny?
Yeah, John Beilein, he's never been an assistant in his entire career. He's always been the head man, and really Michigan hasn't had these kind of expectations since 1994, really.
And on the other side, Randy Baruth, leads the way for the Saginaw Valley State Cardinals. First season as head coach for Saginaw Valley and first season as a collegiate head coach, although he has a lot of experience. Top assistant under Don Meyer at Northern State for 5 seasons. He is second all-time in victories at any level in the collegiate game, so certainly learned from one of the best. Here at Tip-Off Saginaw Valley.